Hello, good morning. This is Natasha Raylock from Get Blissed, and after a few technical glitches, I'm hoping that my beautiful friend Kirsty is on the line to join us for an amazing call where we're going to be talking about how to de-stress your lives. And the reason is because, as we were thinking about this earlier, we all run around at 100 miles an hour. And it is completely crazy and not very healthy for us. So we want to make sure that we help you by looking at different tools to good morning, Kirsty. How are you, sweetheart? I can't hear you. You need to put your mute off. I can hear. There you go.
You hear me?
Hello, darling. Yes, hooray! We've done it. We're live.
Yeah.
Kirsty, it's beautiful to have you join this call. We have had a few interesting glitches. We are here. We are here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. And I was just sharing with everybody that what we're going to be doing is talking about how to de-stress your lives. We run around 100 miles an hour. Life is crazy. You jump on the treadmill and you can't get off. Pressures at home, at work, and everywhere else. So Kirsty and I do work together, and we both, on a very similar page, have different tools and techniques. So combined, we can offer even more value and even more ways to help you chill out and live a really happy, fulfilled, healthy, successful, wealthy, amazing life. Hey, Kirsty.
Too right. Yeah, well, I guess one of the main reasons why I feel so passionate about this is because 12 years ago, I found myself in that absolute state of a complete mess, and my mind was running at 1,000 miles an hour. My life was running at 2,000 miles an hour, and it was just chaos, total chaos. And
So for the advantage of everybody who's listening, who hasn't heard you before, who really, really wants to know more about you, just share with our listeners and our audience a little bit about yourself.
So I am a pain coach. I work with people in physical and emotional pain. I'm also a speaker and a Shire monk. Now, the latter part means I'm a meditation teacher, and I've spent the last 4 or 5 years living back and forth up atop of a Spanish mountain with some Shire monks, where I've been studying the mind. It's been amazing. And one of the main reasons why I got into this myself was because I was looking so desperately to try and turn my mind off. I was looking so desperately to try and be able to have a breathing space, to be able to actually catch up with the chaos of my external life. And this teaching crossed my path, and when I learnt, which was 5 years ago, instantly I knew that I had a path to find my way home. I knew instantly.
Oh, brilliant. I absolutely love that. I love the way you say you had a path to find your way home, because honestly, I do believe that life is a journey back to yourself, back to who you are, isn't it?
Absolutely. All that's happened is we've just forgotten. We've just absolutely forgotten who we really are. We think we're the label of our names. We think we're the label of being a parent. We think we're the label of our job and our identity to that. But it's not true. Who we really are is an internal expression, but we've just forgotten. We've just forgotten as we've got so busy.
We totally have, and we associate ourselves, like you say, with our job titles, our role, our status, our houses, our cars, the clothes we wear, the handbags we have, the shoes we wear, etc. But what we're doing is we're papering over the cracks, and we're putting more and more layers on the external side of us. And what we need to be doing, like you said, is to be going into ourselves and reconnecting with who we are at the very core, our essence, and let that shine through. And it's actually quite a painful process, and it's actually quite a courageous process to go through as well, isn't it? So share with us. Obviously, I know your story, and it is so incredible, Kirsty. And you know, I'm so grateful for that. We totally resonated right from the start. I know we did. We kind of each other across a crowded room and just thought,
Yep, it was like that, definitely.
It so was. And you've had some amazing experiences and been studying to be, the different techniques and tools that have been taught in these amazing Spanish mountains. Just share a little bit about what you've learned so that our listeners and our audience can benefit from what you've learned, and maybe you can share some of the tools and techniques that they can take on board as well to help them de-stress and chill out and really enjoy their lives without feeling they've got to do 100 more other things added on top of what their responsibilities already are.
Absolutely, for sure, I'd love to. So I do a type of meditation which is called ascension, which actually means to rise above the mind. So for me, when I was looking for some tool to be able to combat the chaos of my experience, when I came across ascension, because it was to rise above the mind, that excited me. It excited me because I realised, even though it was chaotic, I realised that there was a huge identification of all these hundreds and thousands of thoughts that were going on every day. And it was that was exhausting me. So when I came across ascension, not only was I excited about the fact that it meant to rise above the mind, to rise above the chaos, but also it was the most simplest practice I'd ever come across. Now, my background is I'm a single mum with 3 teenage boys. I have a business and my life is pretty busy. So the thought of being able to then take large amounts of time out to sit in the lotus position to try and find peace was never going to happen. So for me, when I came across ascension, I was so excited because this practice, not only did it enable me to have a tool to be able to return to who I really am, to return to the presence of my experience, to return to the fullness of who I am, it also enabled me to have a tool that I could use not only with my eyes closed, but with my eyes open too. Now, that was a deal breaker for me because I was like, wow. So you mean when I'm having these moments, because quite often the chaos isn't necessarily always from the 4 walls of your own home. It can be out and about. It can be shopping. It can be trying to sort uniforms out for children. It can be then the phone's going and you've got hundreds of emails. And because we carry our phones around with us 24/7, and for anybody else in a similar position to myself who has their business on their phone, you can't get away from it. So this tool excited me beyond belief because it enabled me to have something while I was out and about, while I was working, while I was sorting the kids out. And every time I catch myself going off into the chaos of my thoughts, I had something to instantly bring me back, instantly. So that was an absolute deal breaker for me. I was just like, this is life changing. This is absolutely life changing. Yeah, of course, it also created the space to be able to go, right, I'm going to go and close my eyes for 10, 20 minutes. I'm going to go and just dedicate this time to myself, which, let's face it, how many of us really take time out for ourselves? Not many. And I know that prior to learning to meditate, my idea of taking time out might have been drinking a large glass of wine, or eating too much, or maybe just escaping somehow, which wasn't necessarily fulfilling me.
No, exactly. And that, as you've absolutely hit the nail on the head. It's escapism. People watch movies, people have a drink, they go to the pub, they have drugs, they smoke, they do all these things to take them outside of themselves. And in actual fact, what they need to do is reconnect with who they are, don't they? And we're missing that so much. And it's wonderful that you and I have met, and we've met so many other people as well who are on this page, and it's really a case of us feeling so passionate about this. It's made a huge difference in both of our lives in different ways.
Absolutely.
There's so much more balance, and when something crazy happens, like for instance when we were trying to hook up this morning, we were supposed to get started an hour ago, and yet we're both incredibly calm now because we've learned how to not get stressed, to not worry. And what we really, really want to share with everybody is you too can have this life. You too can learn these tools and techniques. You too can learn to meditate using ascension. You can learn to reconnect with yourself. We can teach you breath work, body scans, mindfulness. And these things take just 10 minutes out of your day, 20 minutes out of your day, maybe 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, and then practice them until they become daily rituals. And then you will see the benefits in your life. So when catastrophe comes, or as you perhaps saw it before, a mountain, you start to realize that actually, do you know what? There's so much more to life. And it's not a mountain, it's a molehill, it's a little hiccup. And, it's not a huge, massive boulder in the middle of the road. It's like a little stone in the road. You're just going to walk around. So it's really exciting that we've got all between us, these amazing ways that we've learned to cope, that we've changed our lives around, and that we've overcome stress and worry and, on a huge scale. I know from your story anyway, Kirsty, you've overcome so much. I don't know how much you want to share and how much you don't want to share, but oh my God, I remember listening to your story and my jaw just dropped onto the table. I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman needs a hug. She needs love. She needs clothing. I honor you, honestly, all power to you, because you've overcome all these incredible things. And when you share your story, our listeners can start to think, oh my gosh, yes, well, I'm going through this, or I'm going through that, or they might be going through everything like you did. And they start to realize that, gosh, somebody else knows where I'm at and how difficult it is. And if I listen to them, they can help me. And this is what we want to share. I know we're going to be doing a series of these hangouts to share different things. And we're going to be doing a really fabulous workshop together. And I currently run workshops, and I would love you to be able to share your website as well, Kirsty, so people can get in touch with you as well. Meantime, and start really putting those positive changes into their lives.
Well, I'm quite happy to share my story. It's in fact, it's usually when I'm doing a talk, it's one of the first things that I tell people. Not because I want people to feel sorry for me, but because I want people to connect, really, and just understand that we're all human at the end of the day, and most of us have experienced good, and most of us are experiencing challenging things too. And for me, 12 years ago, I found myself in a bit of a predicament where I finally plucked up the courage, which sounds weird saying that now, but trust me, at the time it took me a lot of courage to walk away from an abusive relationship, which was not just verbally abusive, but ended up being physically abusive. Now, from this place now of where I rest today, it seems weird that you wouldn't just ditch and run. But I had 3 children to the man, and they were 3, 2, and 6 old. And part and parcel of this journey was that I believed that I was worthless and that I wouldn't be able to cope on my own. So therefore, I didn't have the confidence to leave. So this final day came and I did leave, and this was the beginning of the turmoil, not the end. I thought this is where my life would really turn around. But this is when I found out that there was thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds worth of debt put in my name. And so consequently, I lost my home, I lost my business, I lost my identity, I lost my willpower, I lost my absolute courage to do anything, because not only had I walked away from this relationship, I found myself penniless, homeless, bankrupt, and feeling super sad myself.
With 3 small children, right?
3 very small boys, yeah, absolutely. And that sounds bad, but actually it was nowhere near as bad as what was going on in my head. The self-sabotaging thoughts of what a loser I was, how I was worthless, how could I bring these 3 children to this planet and make such a disastrous life, I've got no money and nobody wants me, I'm ridiculous, and the hatred to myself would have made the situation look like a glorious situation. It was that bad going on in my head. But I had no tools then, and I didn't know and I didn't understand that what I was doing to myself was actually sending me on an even bigger downward spiral. And yep, that's what I did as I escaped. So bottles of wine, anything I could get my hands on just to numb my experience so that I didn't have to face it, because it just felt so beyond my capabilities to be able to turn around.
That's such a powerful story. It's incredible. So what was the turning point for you?
So a friend had come to me and said, if you don't sort out this drinking, you're going to end up losing your kids as well. Now, as much as I was trying to numb my experience, I still got up every day and looked after them. There was, they were looked after, but I realised that, I needed to, if I didn't sort it out, I wouldn't even be able to afford to have them. And I remembered a friend who I'd met years and years ago who talked about a guy called Tony Robbins. Now, I didn't know who he was at all, and I googled him, and I googled a number to try and speak to him. So I found a number, and I rang this number, and this American chick picked up the phone, and I'm not going to put an American accent on because I'm not very good at it. And I said, "Oh, hi," I said, "I'm Kirsty, and I need to meet Tony Robbins. He needs to sort my life out." And she just laughed, and I was already at the bottom of the pile, so it wasn't like the best news. Yeah. And she was just kind of like, "Well, you know how famous he is?" And I was like, "Well, no, I really didn't." So she said, "Well, he's going to be in London in 2 weekends' time. He's going to be doing this thing called a UPW, which is like a 5-day event. If you come there, you can meet him." So I was like, okay. So I scrabbled around, and actually, I was clearly meant to go because all my credit cards, everything had been stopped. Just one credit card went through. So I went down to London. I expected to be maybe me, 30 people there, to go and like meet Tony Robbins. He's going to sort my life out. And there was like 10,000 people there. And I was like,
but you had no idea that you were going to meet so many amazing people. And
no idea.
Surrounded by love and acceptance and everything else, and positivity. Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. But if I'd have known that at the time that there was going to be that many people, because the place I was in, I wouldn't have gone.
Exactly. And do you know what? Unless you're in personal development, unless you're in the world of self-mastery, which you and I teach, you don't necessarily come across Tony Robbins, even though he is world-renowned, he is super famous, he has been around for 2 or 3 decades. Unless you're in that sort of arena, it's possible that you might not have heard of him.
Absolutely.
So I'm not surprised, because I only heard of him a few years ago myself, so I do get it. And there are still people on this planet who haven't heard of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he was really the catalyst that changed things for you and opened your eyes, wasn't he?
Well, over the few days, he shared some tools, and I had a light bulb moment, and it seemed ridiculous because there I was, this, lesser person, what I thought at that time, somebody who didn't like herself, and I saw this man shine on the stage in front of 10,000 people, and something in my intuition and my heart told me I was meant to be doing something like what he's doing, which was laughable because I was in such a mess. And I was
that's so wonderful, though, that you had that light bulb moment.
Yeah.
And it's really important for everybody to believe that and understand and realize and accept that it doesn't matter where you are, even though everything was against you. You'd lost your job, you'd lost your relationship, you'd lost your home, you became bankrupt, you were a single mom with 3 tiny boys, and you were on a rocky road to drinking yourself into oblivion. So you can't get much worse than that, and how you felt about yourself at the time. And then all of a sudden that sort of flick of the switch, it was almost like somebody gave you a second chance, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's literally like a second wind. Someone just comes in and turns the light on, and just for a moment shows you how to see the world in a different way. And that's what happened. It was
awesome. So what happened from there?
So I came back, and obviously I needed to then start implementing these tools, but I got really excited about them, and I started then getting onto the internet, researching, I started reading, I went back to university, I went back to night school and finished my degree while the kids still weren't at school yet. And I then got offered a job as a business advisor because I did a business degree, and this wasn't the next turning point in my life. I got there as a business advisor, and I loved the job, but they gave me this space to be able to start delivering and teaching seminars. And they realised that people were low in confidence, even though they wanted to set a business up. And so I became like the expert in confidence building within business, and started doing seminars on that, and while doing the seminars, I started bringing things I'd learned from Tony Robbins, that I'd read in books, I'd read on the internet, and started basically trying it all out with other people. And what I realised was that, this was now a few years on, that I actually had started to increase my confidence, and I'd actually becoming the person that other people looked at and went, I'd like to be as confident as her. And this then led to me then doing a weekend course as a coach. It's like a taster course to learn to be a coach. It was free, and I went there, and It was amazing. And as soon as I got there, within the first half hour, I knew that I was meant to be a coach. But it was going to be £4,500. And even though my life was turning around, I still didn't have any spare money. I still had 3 very small children on my own. But I knew that I wanted it so badly. So I came back and I thought, well, there's only one thing I can do. I need to ask my employees if they'll pay for it. So I went to see my boss and she laughed and went, the most we've ever spent on training is £1,000. It's not going to happen, Kirsty. You need to let it go. Well, mortified, I went back to my office and started writing a letter to the board. And I just was really open and really honest. And I just thought, this is my only chance. So I wrote this letter and I took it to my boss and said, please, when you go to your next board meeting, will you take this to the Board of Governors? And she said, oh, okay, it's not going to happen. So she took the letter, and the next day I was in my office just working away, and I got a knock on my door. This is like a couple of weeks later, and she came into my door and she went, I don't know how you've done it, but they said they're going to pay for you. I burst into tears.
Oh.
My boss, who wasn't that kind of boss at all, told her that I loved her. And this was the next step to my life turning around, going and training to be a coach. I literally flew through the training because it resonated so much with me. It was easy because I completely got it, I understood it, and I was so excited because it was something about dealing with people from where they are now. And actually, it doesn't matter what they've even done yesterday. It's about taking this human being from where they are now and showing them how they can catapult forward. So absolutely. That's what I loved. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. And just, you had no idea how powerful you were at the time, did you?
No, not at all.
Look what you manifested, because even your boss said, listen, there's no hope, there's no chance, this, that, and the other. And yet what it goes to show, and I love this as an example, and thank you for sharing this, is that, you know, deep down, you have this unbelievable desire, passion, to achieve this. And you know, your intuition was there telling you all the time, Kirsty, this is for you. Kirsty, this is where you need to be. Kirsty, come on, you need to do this. And it was probably really quiet, and something inside of you just stepped up and said, you absolutely have to go full out and do whatever it takes. And so even though you were told there's no way, forget about it, you didn't forget about it. You didn't let it go, because it was a burning desire inside of you. And that's what I really want to get across to our listeners, because once you start listening to your intuition and your inner self and your essence, your true essence, it will guide you. And you were guided to write that letter to the board. You know, so you had such courage really throughout this whole journey, but you had such courage once that turning point had come, that you know you'd seen a glimpse of the light at the end of the tunnel, and you were not going to let anything stand in your way. You were going to make absolutely sure that you were going to reach that light, and you were going to embrace it and grab it with both hands and say, never again am I going to be on my knees with my face. I'm going for it. And you wrote that letter, you handed it to your boss, who gave it to the board, and the universe took over, right?
Well, 100% the universe took over, because, like she said, they'd never spent more than £1,000 on one person for training. And even though it was going to benefit their clients, because I was going to be able to use the skill set, I guess a part of them also probably realised that I would leave and become a coach, but yet they still paid for it. So it was it was literally like a gift from above. You know, it was the universe working absolutely to its best.
Yes, exactly. And that's what happens when you manifest, you know, when what's in your heart is aligned with the universal source, and that it's a good thing, and you believe it, you state your order, you state your request, you absolutely believe it, you believe it's yours, you feel it's yours, you know that it's there already for you, and you just have to let it go. You do everything that you've done, which was writing the letter and, you know, and having courage, and then you let it go by handing the letter over, and that's when you let go. And you had absolutely unbreakable faith, didn't you, that it was all going to happen for you. And then the board responded, you got what you wanted. Everybody benefited, because you benefited, you got what you wanted, you got the training, you zoomed through it because it was your ultimate goal and your ultimate purpose. And also your company and your boss benefited, because you were able to bring in new tools and techniques and fantastic skills that would benefit everybody there. So I love that story, and that, you know, that our listeners are getting this, because they can then start to see, you guys can start to see that you benefit too from how Kirsty has completely turned her life around. And I love the fact that it's all about confidence building. You had the courage, you educated yourself, and that's, again, these are things that you and I both teach. How important it is to have courage, how important it is to have self-belief, how important it is to educate yourself, in all these different ways. Read everything and learn and listen and take on board what serves you. You don't have to agree with everything you read, but you have to be open to that education, and your confidence will build as you discover who you are and why you're here and what your gifts are. Because your purpose, once you've got your purpose, it's like you're here. So it's like you look in the mirror, you're a racing car, you get onto the racetrack and off you go. It's like that in a way, isn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. And I think one of the biggest things that I always share with all my clients and people that I meet, what I learned, is that it really is about going, okay, so this is what I want. I have a vision of what I want, and then about letting it go and trusting and allowing that it will, however life unfolds, is perfect for you. And
exactly.
if it's meant to be, it'll be easy, and if it's not, then there's something even better for you.
Exactly. So, and I love this quote: if you say no to the good, you're making way for the great. So when something comes into your life, into your focus, you think, oh, that's really what I want. I really want that. But there's something that you're not quite sure about, but you can't put your finger on it. And if it doesn't happen, and you're like, oh, I'm gutted, I really wanted that. But when you think about it deep down, there's often a teeny weeny bit of doubt in there. And that's because, as you say, there's something even better around the corner. And this is what we both teach our clients, that we have upon for ourselves new perspective and new mindset that we have created and we have managed and we have built and we have practiced for ourselves. And the learning and the growing and the evolving as human beings, and then manifesting. Because when you're stepping into your own power and you know your true purpose, so much easier to push through, to break through. Things happen effortlessly. You meet people that serve you. You meet people that you resonate with. You meet people that you think, I love this person, even though you might have just met.
Yeah.
And in fact, ironically, every time you and I meet, we meet other people, don't we? We meet other people that we think, oh my gosh, I love this person. I love this being. I love this soul. Because it's not a guy or girl. It's a soul. It's a being. It's somebody else who we know is already on the same page, and it's a really beautiful thing. And so let's share a couple of tools and techniques that people can take on board right now and start utilizing.
Okay. Well, one of the main things that is really clear to me, that it allows you to decrease stress and also allows you to be more present. It's okay to have dreams, it's okay to have aspirations, it's okay to have like a goal or an idea, but you must let go once you decide what that is, and allow and trust the universe to provide whatever is meant to be for you. So what I mean by that is this, is that let's say, for example, you have a goal that you want to lose 12 pounds. Now, obviously you're going to take actions towards that, because if you're going to just sit and eat Mars bars, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
However, if you constantly think about not being able to lose the weight and about being overweight and about being fat, then you're almost slowing the process down, and you're kind of like creating an expectation to the outcome. And the expectation in your head is you don't believe it will happen, because you're thinking about, oh, well, I don't ever lose the weight very easy, or this stays on always, or da-da-da-da-da. So one of the biggest lessons I can give you in life is that if you let go of expectation to outcome and just trust and allow that the universe will, when you get out of the way of yourself, what I mean by that is stay present, will provide you a way better outcome than you could ever possibly imagine when you let go of that expectation. So many people, and I used to be like this myself, is I'd go into something new, and I'd then be like, right, it's got to look like this. And then I'll speak to these people, and then I'll look like that. And then people will say this to me. And I used to be so disappointed all the time, because I was trying to do the job of the universe. I was trying to tell the universe how things should be. Whereas that's not my job. My job is to be the fullness of who I am, as it is for you too. And what I mean by that is the only way you can really allow the magic and fullness and beauty of this, of what is around you, to really transpire in your life, is to be present. And the way you stay present is by not jumping into the future with your head thinking about how you think something should look. So as soon as you learn to let go of the outcome, so for sure, write a goal down. My goal is X, Y, and Z. But then let it go and then just take steps forward with no expectations of the outcome. Trust me, not only will you be more content and less stressed, you will be served back by the universe tenfold.
Absolutely. Thank you. I totally love that. And you know what? You are so right, because it's not our job to tell the universe.
No.
Do, because the universe is there to serve us. And I think, yes, we need to be very specific with our desires and our goals and our dreams, and tell the universe exactly what it is that we want, and then to let go. And it's, it's letting go of attachment to the end result, but it's also letting go of control.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
How many of us are control freaks, right?
Absolutely. It's, and it's almost arrogant that we think that we are kind of bigger and better than the universe, because that's what we're doing when we're trying to control the outcome. We're almost saying, hey universe, hey, you've not met me before, I am like way bigger than you. And yeah, you know what, some things you have to just surrender. And one of the things that you need to surrender is that we sure have dreams, aspirations and goals, but then, like you said, Natasha, just let it go and enjoy what you've got right now in this moment. And trust me, everything will flow with abundance.
It really does. You're so right. And I was just thinking about what you were sharing there, and I totally agree. It is a form of arrogance, but it's the ego, isn't it?
It's the ego.
If you've got the ego, which is like your bodily humanness, and then you've got your essence, which is your core, which is your spirit or your soul, or however one you look at it. I say essence. I like the word essence.
Nice. I like it.
Oh yeah, thank you. And you need to let your essence shine through, because that's who you really are. And you need to calm your ego, because your ego will always challenge, always argue back, always have a smart ass remark and come back, and actually won't serve you and doesn't help you in your relationship with yourself, or in fact relationships with anybody else. So when you, as you say, Kirsty, get out of your own way, once you have put in your order, I like to say, put in your order, believe, trust, and let go. Because what you're doing is you're having a mind that's open to everything, and yet you're attaching nothing to it.
Yes.
So, the things, the stuff around us, it is only stuff. You can't take it with you. And, it's not the stuff in your life that's important. It's the relationships and the experiences that you have that are really important, because those enhance our lives and make them really, really happy and meaningful. And when we let go of control, when we let controlling ourselves, controlling the universe and everybody else in it, we start to lead an abundant life and lead a fulfilled and happy life. And also when we let go of things, having a mind that's attached to nothing is one of the biggest difficult challenges I had. I think when I first heard it, I know when Di talks about, have a mind that's open to everything and yet attached to nothing.
Absolutely.
Hard to walk away from everything, because it's just stuff, and we collect things because it makes us feel secure, when in actual fact it's so wonderful to clear out, to declutter, to let go of stuff, because it's very invigorating and very freeing, and isn't it? Do you think so? And trusting in the universe, and trusting that there is a bigger picture out there for you, because as you mentioned earlier, when you set your goals or your desires and you shared your dreams with the universe, maybe your friends, maybe written it down as well. It might look like one thing. For instance, let's talk about You might want a brand new car, so you might think, oh, well, I really, really, really want a nice new car. I think a nice, sensible car, like a Golf, a Volkswagen Golf. They're really sturdy cars. They're practical cars. They last a long time. They're safe cars, and they're really strong, and they last for ages, and they're reliable. And so you might have that in your head that you really want, and the universe might come on and say, do you know what? I know, I hear you, that you want a new car and that you want a Golf and all the reasons why you want that car, but
Yeah.
then it might transpire that you end up with something infinitely more amazing than that you didn't even dare to dream that you could have.
Yeah.
And yet that might turn up. So rather than be disappointed with everything that you have that isn't right in your life, start to be grateful for everything in your life that works, because the universe works in a very strange way. And I know you and I both discussed this before.
Yes.
But when you focus on what you have, you get more of the same.
Mm.
When you focus on what you have not got,
you get more of the same.
So if you're unhappy and say, oh, I really don't like my house, I really hate my car, I'm really unhappy in my relationship, and I can't stand my boss and I hate my job, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think the universe says?
Mm-hmm.
The universe hears.
Absolutely, 100%. And another thing I was wanting to add to that as well is that, sometimes when I'm speaking to people, I really hear a similar sort of voice to what I used to have 12 years ago. And it's a voice of like not believing in yourself, not trusting, and just really accepting less rather than more in your life. And one of the things I always say to people now is, do you know what the chances of you being born on this planet were?
Mm.
Well, actually, the number is beyond recognition, really, because it's 700 trillion to 1.
Is it 700 trillion? Oh, I love that figure.
1.
I always talk about it in the millions.
To 1. And, the thing is that because you have made it, you've already won. You're a winner. You got here. And when you got here, you didn't just get here as a soul, you got here with a body as well. But what you also were given was unbelievable, powerful tools to go and create whatever you want on this planet. However, most of us are not aware of that, or are aware of that, but instead of realizing our own self-power, we're identifying with the thoughts, the egoic mind instead, which is telling us that we're small, telling us that we're rubbish, telling us that we're not good enough. But when we go beyond that and we get out of the way of ourselves and we rest in this present moment, literally it is possible to create whatever you want. And that's for everybody, no matter what your background is, your bank account or your religion. This is for every single human being that walks this planet has these powers. But we don't take heed of them, because instead it's almost like we're a prisoner of our own minds. We're a prisoner of the thoughts that we identify with. And when we let go of those thoughts and get out of the way of them, and we just rest in the present moment and trust and allow the universe knows best, literally everything flies to us. And that's all we've got to do, is just be present.
Now we're making it sound really easy, right? Because we've both been on this journey for a long time.
Yeah.
We've both battled lots of different things. I mean, I've fought for years with low self-esteem, low confidence, no self-belief. I've struggled with depression, anxiety. I've masked it so well. I have literally stepped from one version of myself into another version of myself, and put on a full set of armor. I've been surrounded by mental illness in my family, and heart attacks where it's ended up in immediate death in my relatives, and so all these thoughts have made me worry, made me shrink, given me a low self-worth, and have self-doubt, and start trying to merge into the sea of sameness, which really isn't a nice place to be. Yeah. And I know that you and I have been through this, and we've got through the worst of what we've had to deal with, and so we're able to help people around us, which is an amazing gift in itself. And we make it sound easy because we are on the road that we need to be on. We are on the path of our lives and our journey that makes us happy and fulfills us.
Yeah.
So, what do you think in terms of the next step for people is?
Well, I think I know we've spoken about this anyway, but perhaps we could do a course of next steps for people, which could be maybe over 10 sessions or something, 10 of these.
Yeah, loving it. Brilliant. And perhaps share some tools and techniques. Because what I do in my book, Get Blissed, I do share tools and techniques. And so when I'm running workshops, and I've got one coming up on Sunday in London, I share the principles in Get Blissed and the tools and techniques, a lot of mindfulness stuff as well as meditation, breathing techniques, body scans, self-care, all really easy to take on board and adopt into your daily and weekly life, and yet make a massive difference. And when you take, if you're taking one step every single day, just think about how many steps you're taking every single year. And that's kind of the way I explain it to people. And so, yes, definitely. We're going to be doing lots of these hangouts and try and do maybe one a week or one a fortnight. What's realistic, do you think?
I think we could do one a week.
Okay, perfect. And then we can be helping you guys, overcome any anxieties, any stresses, any problems, any troubles, any challenges that you're coming across in your life, whether it's being your relationship with yourself, relationship with other people, whether it be a working environment, whether it be at home, whatever it is, to really help you get out there, because, we're all little pebbles and our ripples are going out further and further. And the more little pebbles we drop in this huge ocean of life, we're reaching more and more people. And I think our goal really, isn't it, to reach the people not only close to where we both live, and geographically we live far apart, but also to spread out to the rest of this country and overseas, and really touch the lives of everybody that we meet in a positive way, where they start to see their own worth and their own value and their own power, and realize that when you try to do something, well, it's like when you're a baby, you don't start to walk and then give up. Because how many babies do you know that don't walk? How many babies that you know, or how many adults, should I say, who don't walk, who don't talk, who can't eat? There are none, because there's no way on this earth that we allowed anything to get in our way when we were babies. We all learned to walk, we all learned to talk, and we all learned to eat. Now, isn't that amazing? Because as adults, what happens? The egoic mind takes over. Self-doubt comes in a way. We take on belief systems from our families, from the school, from the environment, from our peers, and we start having self-doubt. And this really runs away with you. And actually, it gets much worse as you get older, unless you can check in. And, like for you hit a wall, I hit a wall, and something changed inside of us and made us aware and opened our eyes almost to a completely different world out there that we had no idea existed. And so you start breaking off all of the chains that hold you. You start severing the ties that have pulled you down. And, almost like what's that not David and Goliath, what's that beautiful film about that giant man who gets pinned down, and all of these I can't remember the title of it.
But it is a giant. I've forgotten his name. Oh my goodness!
You know what I mean?
Pardon?
You know which one I mean?
Yeah, I do know. Oh my gosh! But anyway,
little people, and they tie this giant down, and that's what it's like. Life is like that. It's almost as if you're this giant person, and yet you're allowing these tiny little people to put, poles around you and rope around you to hold you back and pull you down. And what you need to be doing is standing in your own power and saying, I know who I am, and it's okay if this person doesn't like me, because not everybody's meant to like me. As long as I like myself, as long as I've discovered why, what my gifts and skills are and how I can shine in the world and what my purpose is, then, then you're on your own page, you're on your own paper. We're too busy jumping on each other's paper all the time, watching over somebody else's shoulder, judging what they do, criticizing what they do. Because actually, when you start to look at yourself, which is more difficult to do and you need more courage, then you start to realize what's not going right for you, and what's really going on your paper, on your page, and you stick to your page, and you start unpicking everything that's got tied up. You start peeling back the layers of the onion, so to speak, to find out what's underneath it all. And you start dismantling the egoic mind that's built up and smashing the mud off the beautiful diamond that is your essence until it shines through. And when it shines through and the light shines through, everybody around you is affected, and it's infectious. Your enthusiasm, your passion for life, your love for life, and your love of humanness and humankind and nature. It's just so palpable, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, what my suggestion is perhaps we take these guys on a 7-step process over the next 7 weeks, identifying and looking at different areas to be able to result in a stress-free experience, a calm experience, a relaxed experience, where they can combat the 120,000 thoughts that they have for every single day, where they have some sort of tools to be able to literally be the best version of themselves in the present moment with no attachment to outcome, with being able to create things but without having to control things, with allowing the universe to do its job, and for each and every one of us to be able to learn to rest in this moment so that we can allow the magic of being a human being to just unfold naturally as it's going to do.
Perfect. Yeah, I love that, Kirsty. I think that's definitely going to work. And we've got our workshop coming up, haven't we, in Birmingham on the 8th of October?
Yes.
Full-day workshop where everybody who attends is going to be able to find out more about this stuff. So we'll be posting the link for that. Mm-hmm. If you guys want to join us and have more of us and learn all these tools yourself, and we'll take you through all these ascension meditation. We'll take you through lots of mindfulness stuff and really simple tools and techniques that you can adopt into your life right now. You don't need any qualifications. You don't need to go on a massive long course. Mm-hmm. Start making positive changes in your life, and you can connect with not just one but both of us. Which is super exciting. So double whammy there.
Double whammy, double trouble.
Exactly. And so we'll be posting the links on this is going to go live onto YouTube as well. We'll post the links onto LinkedIn, onto Facebook, and onto our own websites. And for me at Get Blissed, it's www.getblissed.co.uk, or connect with me on LinkedIn, Natasha Alott, or connect with me on Facebook, Get Blissed, and also Natasha Alott. Both of those, either of those is cool. And Kirsty, for you, how do people reach you in the meantime?
Yeah. So for me, my website is www.kirstybortoft.com. Are we going to put these up somewhere so they get the spellings right, or do I need to spell it out?
No, that's fine. What we can do is when we post this link, we can add them to that. But just in the meantime, if they watch it on YouTube once it's uploaded, then we want to be able for them to be able to get hold of you as well. So give it again.
So www.kirstybortoft.com. You can also get me at Facebook at Kirsty Bortoft. You can also get me on LinkedIn at Kirsty Bortoft. And my email is just kirsty@kirstybortoft.com.
Perfect. That's wonderful. Kirsty, thank you so much for your time. It's been exhilarating. It's been exciting. It's been fun. It's been dynamic as always.
As always. No, thank you. I just want to say a massive thank you to you, Natasha, as well. It's been amazing ever since we've met. A real whirlwind roller coaster of fun and excitement. And I'm really super excited to go forward with you so that we can just really shine this light and share some tools with people so that they can also live a stress-free life.
Yay. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Kirsty. It's great to speak with you again. Have a beautiful rest of today and the rest of the week. And love the life you lead, which I know you do also. And we'll get this uploaded so everybody can have a little piece of this and experience our little gems. And then we will be posting our next hangout for the 7-step process. Thank you everyone for joining us. Have an awesome, blissful, beautiful day.
Wonderful. Bye.